Today we're going to be doing the Gear Minx 2. There is a Gear Minx 1, but I don't have one, so this is just the one that I have. And there's not a good video on how to do this on YouTube. There was one that I found that I was sort of able to follow it, and I was at least able to follow it good enough to where I could figure out the rest of it on my own. So hopefully my goal here is just to make the definitive video on this. Like, I'm going to try to cover all the situations and explain everything best I can, because it's really not that hard. But you know, it's just like any puzzle cube. If you don't know what you're doing, then it's hard to do. But it's solved really similarly to all the gear puzzles. They're all pretty similar. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Alright, so here it is scrambled up. It's about a pretty good scramble there, I think. Now, the first thing that you want to do is start matching up these big, I guess they're the corner pieces. So I always like to start with the white and the yellow. And so here you can see I have a white here, so I just want to find the other one. And it's right here. So I'm just going to kind of turn that over and match it up right there. It's just a little bit of trial and error to begin with. It's kind of hard to figure out how this thing turns, but with a little practice you'll kind of get it. So there's the two whites. That means that the yellows are already matched up. I just need to move them into place, and you can see they're here on the bottom. So I'm just gonna move them right up like that. So now I have my whites and my yellows, and I'm going to just make sure the rest of them are lined up, and they're not. You can see these two. This is a light green, that's a dark green, so I'm just going to turn it until the colors line up, and there they go. Now, another step you have to pay attention to here are these centerpieces. Now, the centers have two colors. They don't need to be oriented yet. So just remember that, like the white and the yellow, they're backwards here. That's okay, just as long as it's in the right spot. So we're just going to look around, see if we got them all in the right spot, and in this case we do. Now if you happen to have, let's just say, something like that, so like this one's in the right spot, but you look down here and you say, okay, well, that's the light purple, that's the red, that's not the right center. Well, all you have to do is just turn it until they line up, and then just take a look around and you'll see that they're all good. And it's as easy as that for step one. Okay, step two is we're going to look at these 6-tooth gears, is what I call them, because they have 6 teeth going around. And we're going to start getting these in the right spots. So what you want to do is look around and find 2 that need to be switched. And I can see a few different examples here. Like here I have the gray is with the orange corners and the orange is with the gray corners. So that's an example of 2 that need to be switched. Here's another example. We have the white and the yellow are backwards. So if you're having trouble finding 2 that need to be switched, like sometimes you'll get a situation where they're all sort of like this, where they're wrong, but they're not really needing to switch with each other. So if you have that, just do this move on any 2 that are wrong, and then you should be able to go from there. But in my case, I do have 2 that need to be switched, which are these 2. So I'm going to hold them vertical, like that, in the middle, and you're going to kind of hold them on the top. And then you're going to do front once, and you turn it until these little pieces line up. That's how you know it's like one turn. And remember, we're looking at the yellow. I'm trying to get the yellow up here, so I'm just going to turn right until the yellow lines up with the yellow corners. There it is. And then I'm just going to undo that front move, so basically front prime back to where I was. And that switched them. Now, this is very important, this next thing. Make sure that you fix the centers before you do another set. So if you look right here, I messed up my centers on this slice. So I'm going to go ahead and just rotate that until I get them fixed back, which should be right there. And I just take a look around, make sure they're all good, and they are. So now I can do that same move on another set. So I'm just going to look and see if I have two that need to switch. And it looks like I have that situation from earlier where I don't have two that actually need to switch. Oh, here I do. Yeah, here I do. So these two can switch. Alright, so I'm going to do that same thing. Hold them right there. So I'm going to do front and then R until that color lines up. In this case it was pink. And then I'm going to do front prime back like I was. Alright, and now I'm just going to fix my centers again. So they're all lined up, and it looks like we've got them all fixed. So we're ready to move on. Now the next step can be a little tricky because you have to hold the cube exactly in the right way. And this is one of those things I had to kind of figure out on my own because the video I watched didn't explain it very well. So what we're trying to do here is fix all these little, I don't even know what you would call them. I guess they're like corner pieces. I don't know. But these little pieces that have like the dots. So you have like two different kinds. You have the dots, and then you have these, which I call the C's because they kind of have like a C shape. So we're trying to get all of those fixed, and you can see some of them are already good. Like those are good. These are not. These two need to be fixed. So some of them are good, some of them not. Now what you want to do is hold the cube with some ones that need to be fixed on the top, but it has to be a set of 8 dots. So you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and these two are wrong, so this is the set I'm going to hold on top. Now the set that I hold facing me are going to be 4 dots and 2 C's, which is what I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4 dots and 2 C's. Alright, so you're going to hold it just like that, and you're going to do R, U, R, U, R, U. And you can see that they should all be fixed. I think you should only have to do that one time. I don't think I've ever had to do that twice. So if you hold it the right way and do that algorithm, they should all be fixed. And we're ready to move on. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is we're going to orient these centerpieces. So you can see how 2 of them are correct, the one on top and bottom, and then the other 4 are backwards. And this is a situation that I get most often by far. Normally you'll have 2 that are right and 4 that are wrong. So this is the algorithm that you'll use the most. Now I'm going to go over the 3 situations you can have. It is possible to have 4 that are right and 2 that are wrong. And it's also possible to have all 6 that are wrong. But like I said, this is the most common, so I'll go over this one first. So what you want to do is hold it with the 2 that are correct on the top and bottom, just like that. And we're going to do R, U, F, and then we're just going to do that backwards. So R prime, U prime, F prime. And we're going to do that same thing one more time. So R, U, F, and then R prime, U prime, F prime. And there you go. You can see that it got them all fixed up. Now before I move on to the last step, I'm going to go ahead and back up, and I'm going to show you the other 2 situations you can have. Okay, so as I said earlier, sometimes you'll get this. So you can see that all 6 are wrong. So if you get this, then you're going to have to use a different algorithm. And obviously, since all 6 are wrong, it doesn't matter how you hold it. But it's really short and sweet. So you're going to do R, U, R prime, U. But you got to do that 3 times. So I'm going to do it again. R, U, R prime, U, and now once more, R, U, R prime, and U. Alright, and you can see that you fixed all 6 in one shot. Okay, so let me show you the last situation. Okay, so the last way it can be is, like I said earlier, you can have 2 that are wrong and 4 that are correct, which is what I have here. So you might have already kind of guessed or figured this out. So if you have this, then what you want to do is just flip these other 4 so that you have all 6 backwards, and then just do what I showed you in the previous step. So if you remember from earlier, if you had 2 that are correct, you could hold them on top and bottom, and then you could do that first algorithm and flip all the rest. Well, we're going to do that here so that we flip all the correct ones and get it so where all 6 of them are wrong. And then we'll just do the, like I said, the previous step and flip them all 6 at once. So just hold it like this with the 2 that are incorrect on top and bottom. And then we're going to do that first algorithm, which is R, U, F. Sorry about that. R prime, U prime, F prime. And then one more time. R, U, F, R prime, U prime, and F prime. Okay, so that flipped the other 4, so now all 6 of them are backwards. So now we just do what we did before. Alright, so it doesn't matter how you hold it. So we're just going to do R, U, R prime, U. And we got to do it 2 more times. R, U, R prime, U. And once more, R, U, R prime, and U. Alright, so there you go. So that's all 6 steps. Or, flipped all 6 at once. So that's all the situations that you can see. Now the very last thing you want to do is just flatten out these 6-tooth gears, and this is very, very simple. Just whichever ones are kind of out of whack, you just want to turn those until they line up. So get it back around, see if it's flat. It is. These are flat, these are flat. Alright, here's some that are out of whack, so I'm just going to turn that. Get back around and see if it fixed it, and it did. And that's it. So as you can see, pretty simple. It's just you know, a couple short algorithms, but I really enjoy the gear puzzles. I think they're really cool the way they work. And so anyway, I hope this helped, and I'll see you next time.